or worse?
There's a big problem in Britain with poverty in children. 1.6 million children are living below poverty and 3.5 million children in poverty. The reason it's very difficult in a rich country like this is because children feel very ashamed because they can compare it to another child immediately next to them who might have the resources. So it's that much more painful in this country for children.
And just anecdotally, I heard that so many poor people, those who are defined as poor, have gone into incredible debt over the holidays to try to provide their children with the kind of presents that they can then talk to their friends at school about.
It's true. And, you know, for example, if you look at the children of Kids Company aged under 14 that we do home visits with, 1 in 3 of those children are sleeping on the floor. They don't actually have a bed, but they may have a mobile phone, because if they don't have the mobile phone, they're likely to get teased and attacked on the streets.
Your company, Kids Company, is involved in a lot of brain research and other scientific investigation into the effects of poverty on children and the child mind. Tell me what you're discovering.
Well, what we're looking at is the toxic load attacking children. So poverty is one element of it, but another element is violence. 1 in 5 of the children who were assessed by UCL at Kids Company have been shot at.
University College London.
University College London have been shot at and or stabbed, with 50% of the children witnessing shootings and stabbings in the last year. This is in one of the wealthiest countries in the world. It's not a war zone. So what we're finding is as children are continuously frightened, they release vast amounts of fright hormones, and that is changing actually the structure and functioning of their brain to make the children develop very narrowed, aggressive behaviors in order to survive in very challenging neighborhoods. And consequently, these kids are ending up underachieving in school, not being able to calm down, because actually the biology of their brain has changed as a result of how badly they've been continuously treated.
This is a huge problem. Also, we hear a massive spike in cyberbullying, online cyberbullying in underage kids. And again, we've shown these graphs and these statistics of Britain and its massive income inequality gap, with the, 1 million earning amongst the 0.1%, and then the rest of the 90% earn about 12 to 13,000 pounds a year. What is the solution to these children's fate that you've just been talking about?
Well, first of all, I think internationally we've got to recognize that violence towards children that is relentless and where the child is not being protected emerges as a public health issue. Because epigeneticists believe that the amount of violence that a child experiences and the results of changes that takes place in their brains actually has an impact on how their gene gets expressed. So, i.e., intergenerationally, there is the possibility that we're passing violence on. So I would argue that actually violence towards children is such a public health issue, on par in importance as climate change. Bottom line, politicians say children don't vote, therefore we don't really have to address their issues.
And indeed, it looks like, according to all the figures, that the current government here in Britain is focusing its distribution of state benefits on forcing parents to take jobs. If the parent fails to gain employment, there could be, benefits withdrawn. What is that going to do to the children in these families?
This is a very good point you bring up, because they're also doing this with young people. So a young person who's very distressed and isn't managing, if they don't turn up at the job centre, they can get sanctioned, i.e. punished, which will mean they don't get benefits, but also they don't get housing benefit. So what's happening is large numbers of young people are being left without money to eat, without money to keep themselves warm, and then eventually ending up losing their housing because of the way they're being treated.
One of the statistics here shows that child poverty has been reduced from 1998 to 2012, and that's been credited quite a lot to the increased levels of single parents who are actually working, as well as increases in benefits.
I'm absolutely pro economic empowerment of the poor, but that means if you want single parents to go back to work, you have to have affordable childcare. And I don't think the equation has been correctly arrived at.
And the statistics show that potentially 600,000 more British children will be in poverty over the next couple of years, and as many as 4.7 million children expected to be living in poverty in 2020.
Those statistics, I think, are just the tip of the iceberg. Add to them, 1 in 10 children in this country have mental health difficulties. Almost 1 in 10 children are thought by the NSPCC to be sexually and physically abused. I think Britain is sitting on top of a very problematic relationship with its vulnerable communities, and it hasn't faced it yet.
So what would you say if you were in front of the Prime Minister or the Chancellor of the Exchequer?
Well, what I would say is the success of any country is dependent on the strength of its poor. If you don't look after poor people, their disturbance and their distrust of government will bring it down. And I believe that unless this government develops a more compassionate attitude towards the poor in this country, it will pay a price for it.
Camila Batmanghelidjh, thank you very much.
Thank you.